Okay, so I'm here with Tony Farnfield of the Samaritans. Hello there.
Hello.
And you've just been given a talk about the journey that you've been on with the Samaritans, and really that you and the CEO, Catherine, have taken the Samaritans through from gloom to boom. So you were talking about how the Samaritans has its core value of discreetness and confidentiality, but that had seeped into not really blowing its own trumpet and shouting about what it does and the issues it's facing, which kind of marginalise, some of the very big issues it's facing, such as, dealing with huge rates of suicide and helping lessen that. So can you just recap on kind of how you kind of steered that and steered the organisation to something more high profile, something that reached out more to people and to possible fundraisers, and also help the organisation join up internally from something quite disjointed to something, quite joined up and coherent?
Well, I think, as I said, it's a journey we're on, and so we're on a good trajectory, but we're not there yet. I'd love to take full credit for it, but it's not down to me. Catherine, our CEO, came together with our chair, Sophie, at a key time, and they are both very, very dynamic individuals. Sophie's got experience of using Samaritans at a particularly dark time in her life, and so she's passionate about what we do. I think what we tried to do with the branches who actually deliver the service, and they're the real heroes in this, is say to them, almost give them permission to be as proud as they deserve to be about all that they do. You hear inspirational stories all the time. Our branches are doing things in schools, for example, with primary schools. I was listening to someone the other day who was telling us about a programme that they're running with a primary school, and you think, primary school, emotional distress? The two young ladies were dealing with terminal illness of a parent, and of course no one spoke to them. So Samaritans are there providing a listening service for this, and it's not only good for the individual, it's good for the school, because settled kids they're able more to concentrate on their learning. So I think what we've done is said to the branches, be proud about what you do. What you do is awesome. What we do as volunteers is incredible. The fact that you give so much of yourself. We're not asking you to say, pat me on the back, look how great I am, but look how great we are collectively.
And it's almost kind of, as you were saying, it was almost kind of taking a risk of loosening control over the messages you're giving out and the stories you're telling in the public domain, isn't it?
Well, very much so. And at the first, we have a council get-together where all the branches get together. And the first time I was at one where we said to the branches, we're really going to focus on outreach work and get out there. There was almost a collective sigh of relief, because the branches felt, oh good, we've been doing that secretly, but we didn't think we were allowed to do it, because Samaritans is only a phone line and SMS and email, isn't it? Oh, we've been doing this off our own back because we've recognised needs in our own community and opportunities in our own community, so we've been doing it anyway. So now we're starting to get these stories together. We're starting to realise even more the impact that Samaritans, the organisation, has on the whole of the UK and the Republic of Ireland.
And you were talking about, you've had a number of very high-profile campaigns over recent years, such as the one with Network Rail, to help kind of lessen suicide rates on the rail tracks, and also with secondary schools. But you were talking about how you were looking to really reach out to people where they were, rather than being this quite passive service that kind of sits in the background and is there for people to tap into, but reach out to people where they were and where they may be looking for help, or in their domain where they might be floundering and not realising this help is available to them.
I think that you hit the nail on the head there. I think what we're trying to say, what I genuinely believe, I think most of the organisation does, if someone is at a very dark point in their life and has the personal wherewithal to look for support and can contact Samaritans, because not everybody knows the number 08457 90 90 90 off pat. So they found us, they've identified we might be able to give some help and come to us and are getting some help. That's a really strong thing for that individual to do. So this whole kind of, if I'm feeling helpless, I ring Samaritans. Well, yeah, if you're feeling dark and you're really struggling in your life with issues that all come to all of us, and you want someone to support you to find your own way through it, because we don't give advice. Our volunteers quite often joke that a call will end and say, thank you for the advice, and they're almost chasing the phone down, going, no, I didn't give you any advice, You come to your own way through, or wherever you're going, by your own. It's your own strength that's helping you.
And you're also talking about how the organisation, with this growth and this change in direction, it needed a kind of an extra 50% of resources that it didn't have within 5 years to get to that. I mean, how is you were talking about kind of joining up and making the organisation more efficient, but efficiency only goes so far. You still need those extra resources. How did you steer the organisation through that as the finance director?
Well, I think we've been very lucky. We've got such a strong message. The board have accepted that we're going to have to reduce our reserves down to invest in things like fundraising, because you invest in fundraising today and you don't get the income until probably next year. And the board has made some very courageous decisions. What I think my role has been to contribute towards that is to provide them some of the detail, some of the benchmarks that they can monitor that against, the KPIs, that kind of thing, to say, you're not just leaping into the dark. We'll give you some points where we can slow things down or change direction slightly, and we will report back to you progress before it becomes either, well, yeah, everything's worked, thank you very much, or actually it's all gone horribly wrong. And I think obviously the trustees take their responsibilities very, very seriously. So because we've built in a lot more detail into helping them make those decisions, they've taken some quite courageous decisions.
So again, it's about more risk taking, but it's informed risk taking.
Exactly.
Okay. All right. Well, I'm being told to wrap up here. So thank you very much, and thank you very much for a very inspirational presentation. It's very helpful.
Thank you.